But I've always liked older guys.
I was going to say, did that not bother you that you had a 20-year age difference?
No, I actually, if they don't have gray hairs, they're too green for me.
Oh, yes. I'm liking this girl right
I like
here.
her a lot
I like
already.
the silver foxes. Give me a silver fox any day. I don't want a young pup.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. I am Marcus.
And I'm Amy.
Oh, I was going to introduce you, but you took the initiative.
Too late.
Wow.
Beat you to the punch.
Yes, you did. What's going on, Amy?
Not a lot. Super busy.
You're busy.
We
have a lot to talk about. You and I need to do a show.
I know. Yeah. We
One day I'm going to get you
up.
in here.
It's been a while.
To do a show because
I know.
I barely talk to you, and you give me snippets.
Whatever, baloney. I call you all the time.
Well, we've got to do a show soon, but not today. Today is not the day we're going to do a show because I have a guest from
Texas.
So we actually tried to get her on the show a while back, and she had problems with her car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I want to welcome Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
Glad we finally connected.
Yeah, I know. The universe had other ideas the first time.
Right.
So
yeah, I was a little bummed because we were ready to interview you because I had kind of checked out some of your information, did a little background on you, and you've been on the site for a while, and I want you to tell us your story. But before that, how did you find us?
Actually, I'm a Spotify girl, so I was on Spotify and I was like, man, there's got to be other people out there who have like advice or stories or better ways of doing this because sometimes it just gets a little tricky.
It is.
And so I searched, I was like, sugar baby.
So you typed in sugar baby?
I was like, I hope nobody looks at this search history.
God forbid somebody look at my search history.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And so I'm on there and I came across the podcast and I was like, okay, I like their voices. They have a good like repertoire. They like to talk. All right. And you guys had good advice. I mean,
thank you.
There's no bad advice in my opinion. You can only learn something or take the advice and say, okay, that was all right, but learn from it.
Right.
And you guys it's just a good show. I mean, and the guests that you've had on have been very interesting to say the least. So
let me ask you, do you enjoy the sugar daddy guest or the sugar baby guest, or you just enjoy all of it?
I like both. Both. But to be fair, don't make fun of me. I think one of the guys you had on here that is I'm going to call him quote unquote a sugar daddy. I don't think he's a sugar daddy. I think he's a splendid daddy. I think he wants to be a sugar daddy, but I don't think he has the oomph to actually like do it.
Well, it's very expensive. I mean,
yeah,
it is expensive.
For me to take a girl out on the town, pay for dinner, pay for a fun night and drinks, I'm already spending $300 to $500 before we get anywhere. So it can be very expensive. And if you do that 2 or 3 times a week.
That's why you do a lunch and hopefully she has somewhere to be afterward if it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, but lunches are tough because
come on.
It's hard to get to the bedroom after lunch.
Oh, but I mean, you're not wasting time at that point. You know,
that's for like an initial
time.
meeting.
And also if you're really into her, then it leaves you wanting more. And then you're going to put in the work to do it.
Right.
And if
I really liked our lunch, can I see you later tonight?
Yes.
For drinks and happy hour.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then you're stuck with a half heart on at work, and then you get to look forward to happy hour. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. It's a nice.
All right. So you found our podcast. We really appreciate you listening to that. And we have a lot of special things planned, a lot of good guests planned. But for today, it's your turn to tell us how you got here.
I grew up in a very small town. I was very poor growing up and I hated being poor. I hated seeing my mother struggle. She was a mom of 4 girls and I hated it. I was like, this is not the life for me. Like I had to have been switched at birth. Like give me to the Richies over here because this is not my life.
Right.
At 18, I moved out. My home life was nuts. So I moved out. I'd seen it on movies and I was like, okay, pretty woman type, vibe. And I was like, I want to try this out. So I got on a site. I don't even remember what it was called, but I don't think it exists anymore. I was like, okay. And I flew out to Texas and met a guy, and we had a great fun weekend, stayed in a 5-star hotel, stayed at the Ritz. It was really nice. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
How old were you at that point?
And after that, it just kind of like kept going.
You were 18 at that point?
Yeah, I was 18.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's young. How old was this gentleman?
Yeah. He was 39.
Okay.
Well, not too bad.
But I've always liked older guys.
I was going to say, did that not bother you that you had a 20-year age difference?
No, I actually, if they don't have gray hairs, they're too green for me.
Oh, yes. I'm liking this girl
I like
here.
her a lot.
I like
already.
the silver foxes. Give me a silver fox any day. I don't want a young pup.
I'll have to show you my silver fox. I have a true, like legit silver fox. Like, he is legit.
I'm liking this.
So my poor sound guy here is 23, and he doesn't have a gray hair. Yeah,
just dye it. Like, just get some dye in there.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just dye it a little bit.
It'll come soon enough. Enjoy your youth.
Yeah.
So
what happened to this gentleman?
We actually, crazy enough, when I moved to Texas, we got back in contact. I moved to Texas 4.5 years ago, and we always kept in touch. I mean, I could probably text him, and I mean, we're still friends.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, it didn't last. How long did it last?
No, like a year.
Okay.
Probably.
So that was your first introduction as being a sugar baby?
Yeah, it was. It was.
And you liked it?
It was fun. Oh, I loved it. I loved everything about it. Yeah. I mean, the last sugar daddy I had, they always do this thing where they want you to be their girlfriend. And that's where I'm like, no.
I know.
Too much work.
Men fall in love so quickly.
Yeah.
Eventually it turns, in my opinion, they want you to be their girlfriend, and then it turns into like less of a sugar situation and more of like, oh, well, you're my girlfriend now. I don't have to do those things. And I don't like that. Like, no, you still need to do those things.
Yeah, Amy completely relates with you on that. That happens to her all the time.
I mean, I've heard her voice. I don't know what she looks like. I'm sure she looks hot right now, but
she looks a lot like you. I mean, she looks a lot like, you know what? I'm gonna give you some clues on what she looks like, because you can't see her, but she looks like a modern day Alicia Silverstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's
not the clueless Alicia Silverstone, but the modern day Alicia Silverstone, the little more grown up one.
I can see that. That matches her voice.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So guys, if you've been wondering what Amy looks like, that's very close. Even my sound guy just looked it up, and he's nodding. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then when that relationship ended, did you meet him on Seeking? Or another?
No.
It was another kind of
It was
site.
some website. I don't think it even exists anymore.
And then you jumped on Seeking?
I did. I jumped on the Seeking train.
The train.
I did. We all ride this train, and it takes us everywhere.
There's just not much other trains to jump on that are worth it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And they're not as like clear cut.
Yeah.
I mean, there's millionairematch.com, but then those guys are like, they want a wife.
Sure.
Like, they don't want a sugar situation. They like want to get married like next week. Like,
right, yeah. Well, what do you want?
I mean, I had the big house. I had a 5.5 carat diamond on my hand. I mean, I had anything I could basically want, but at some point, these men, I don't want to say they change, but they tweak a little. Like, you start to see the true colors, and you're like, you don't want a wife. You want a live-in, do-it-all girl, and then you don't want to you don't want to be the sugar side. So it kind of like changes from that.
Yeah. So what kind of men have you been meeting? Tell me a few stories.
So I broke off my engagement 8 months ago.
Oh.
And I got back on SA within a month.
Oh boy.
That sounds so bad.
Rebound. Hey, my ex did that too.
I was like, if I'm going to rebound, I might as have a fun rebound. That's like,
What other rebound are you going to do?
And obviously, he quit sugaring you. So now you're just like, I don't want to be spoiled. Like, you quit spoiling me, so I'm going to go find somebody that will.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, exactly. I mean, you can't do that, especially when the relationship started on that. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I did give him the ring back. I was nice.
Oh, you did?
I did. I gave him the ring
We are
back.
curious. I know my audience is curious. What does a ring like that cost?
I think it was a lab grown diamond, so it was $80K.
$80K.
I mean,
it's a big diamond.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful, but no, it was emerald cut. It was really pretty.
Hey,
I really just liked it as
you're
accessory.
crying.
That's how I knew I didn't want to get married. I didn't look at a dress, didn't look at a venue. I was just like, I like this ring. This is nice.
Yeah, all I need is this ring.
The rebound guy, he was a good one. He was a good shark. Like I said, I call them sharks. I don't call them sugar daddies because they're like the big guys in the sea, you know, like everybody's like sees them, notices them, you know, kind of watches what they do. So I call them sharks.
So you call them a shark. In Vegas, they call them whales. The guys with all the money.
I don't like calling them whales because then I think that when I associate the word with whale, like I think of a fat guy.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I don't.
So you call them shark. We'll call them sharks. I like that.
Yeah. So he was a pretty good shark. The allowance was fab. It was great.
Like what? What was it?
Like $8,000 a month.
Really?
And he only wanted to meet twice a week. Problem was that was short-lived. Because twice a week turned into stay with me all week.
Well, sure.
And be at my beck and call 24/7. So he was around for 2-3 months, and then I was like, he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, no, not for me. And then found another shark. He was fun too, but he partied too much. It was like babysitting an adult, and so I was like, you're taking your pants off in the kitchen. You're really drunk. This isn't for me. I was like, I don't want to babysit you and order you Uber Eats at 5 a.m.
Are you finding like I do that a lot of these older men, you know, in their 40s and 50s act like children?
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
They're
just overgrown adolescent boys.
They're going through their midlife crisis.
I know. I
don't even know if I call it that. I feel like that's an excuse for them. It's not a crisis. They're single for a reason.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for fun for a reason. They just Peter Pan syndrome. They never grew up.
Yeah. But I like the energy. I like the energy that younger women bring, and it does make me feel young, and I do kind of revisit my youth when I'm dating a younger woman. So I get it.
It's fun.
But you got to be somewhat mature in your actions, though.
Right.
Yeah. And you're finding that they're just 3 sheets to the wind or just partying.
But how many girls also do that too?
True.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, really when I think of a sugar baby, I think that we're supposed to be collected. Like we're not, you know, we're supposed to be collected and proper.
We're refined. We're refined and pretty and put together.
Right.
And classy and higher stature. That's why you're paying to hang out with us.
Exactly. Yep.
So are you currently in an arrangement?
I am not. I am currently not. I'm back on SA. I was in LA. I was going to meet this guy, and he just got a little wonky.
What do you mean?
He's the type that wants you to be the dominant, and I have no problem being the dominant. Problem when I have with being a dominant is I don't want to have sex with other people in front of you. That's
he was into that?
Yeah, like he was into that. He was like, I want to get you a hotel room. And I don't even remember where it was. It was like some really nice hotel in Beverly Hills. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, pay for my stay. Love that. But then he was like, and I want you to bring different guys to the room and I want to watch. I was like, oh, that's going to be a little harder to do because recruiting men, that's like, finding the men who are willing to be watched, good luck. Because that one's really hard.
Yeah. I don't believe I've ever been in that situation. And if somebody approached me, that would be strange. I'd have to really think about it.
Yeah, what would you do if I came up to you and I was like, hey, I have a man who wants to watch us. You want to go pick up?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe if the chemistry's there.
Would look at me and then he'd be like, maybe, but can he turn around in the car?
Yeah. There's so many people with weird fetishes and fantasies on the site.
Weird.
No, you run into those all the time, Amy.
Everybody has their own je ne sais quoi. They all have like a little...
Yeah, I guess weird is subjective, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Weird is very subjective.
Yeah. So what kind of,
like,
you know, I've been on the site for almost 6 years and I've seen all kinds of people come and go on the site, all kinds of women. The quality is all over the board. You know, I'm looking at you. You look like a little higher quality girl. What kind of messages are you getting? from these men? Are you just getting rude, crude messages?
Well, I appreciate that because I literally, again, I threw myself together in like 10 minutes. But
well, the filters are amazing.
I'm not even using a filter, so
I'm just kidding.
The kinds of men that I get, it's all over the place. I would say I wish SA would require you to make a certain amount and not be able to lie about how much you make, because a lot of men on there lie.
Absolutely.
And I don't think, no offense, I don't think you should be on there if you make less than $250,000 a year.
I can put any number I want on there. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I don't like
it's
it.
Not
I don't
verified.
like that you can lie.
I think mine is 300. If you make less than 300, you should not be on there.
Well, I believe the diamond members. I believe the diamond members are verified somehow. I haven't signed up for that program because I get enough responses and I don't need to.
Just don't lie. Like, I mean, what's that going to do? Like, you're not,
because you're not just wasting your own time. You're wasting.
Why would I tell the truth?
Why would you?
Yeah. If I'm a man and I want to attract these women, why wouldn't I puff up the stats a little bit? It's natural, right?
Well, that's like lying about your height. We all know. Like,
eventually it's going to come out.
Yeah, but I can hide my bank account for a while.
Only 5'8". Like, come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay.
No, the kinds of messages I'd say I get are anything from, hey, text me like right away, or like Amy's copy paste. I hate copy paste. You didn't read my profile. You have no idea what I'm looking for. And you are a schmuck for doing that, because I am not going to answer you. I'm going to open your message so you know I read it, and then I'm going to click out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you left me on red.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny when you get that same copy and paste message from the same person? You're like, you've already sent me this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I actually had an account. I had a different account, and it got taken down, and I got it back. And by that time I had made a new account. So apparently putting the girlfriend experience on there is considered like not allowed. Like that language isn't allowed. And I didn't know that.
I've heard that, but our co-host, her username is girlfriend experience, and it hasn't been taken down yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It took me like 2 weeks of like emailing them and being like, hey, like I'm not like doing anything wrong. I didn't have any verbiage in there that was wrong.
Right. Like you said, a lot of sugar daddies want that girlfriend experience.
Well, they want that experience.
Yeah, and I mean, it even has like marriage. It has marriage minded. I mean, so that doesn't make any sense. That's weird. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's another account that's back up with my face on it, but nobody's using it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even remember the password. I was like, I'll just make a new account. I was like, fine. And then they gave it back after I made a new one, and I was like, okay.
So tell me some things that you wish men would do better, or that men need to know. What just attracts
be upfront about your allowance. I call it a budget. Mm-hmm. I say, what's your budget? Because everybody has a monthly budget. Like, let's be realistic. Even very wealthy men have a monthly budget. Yeah. They may not really pay attention to it, but they do. Mm-hmm. And so even if I will vet them a little bit. I'll give them my real number if I think that they're legit and good, which has backfired. And then I have a Google Voice number that I will give if I think they're a little iffy, or I don't think that they actually have the money that they're presenting that they do. And so the guys that I vet that do have the money, 9 times out of 10, they're actually giving me their real number.
Oh, really?
And yeah, the texts come in blue because I'm an iPhone user, and the text will come in blue, and I'll be like, oh, he is legit. If they're green, which I get a little concerned. I'm either, I don't know. That's when I'm like, did I really give my real number to this person? Okay. But no, I'll say, what's your budget? Mm-hmm. And usually they'll be like, well, what do you want? And I'll be like,
exactly.
Well, that's
not
really
the
fair
standard
to put a price
response.
On something.
Right.
Right. But I don't like that. I don't like that because it depends. It's like going into a Chanel store and saying, I want that bag. Well, that bag's $10,000 and your budget's $6,000. It depends on what you want. 2 hours of time is, different than saying, hey, I want you to spend the entire night with me, go to dinner, go out to the club, be an atmosphere model type person, and also go home with me. That's different.
Yeah.
So to me, I base it on time and what you want and how often.
Right.
So once they say that, my social media is kind of large. And sometimes once they Google my name, they'll find it and I'll be like, here we go.
Yeah. You're pretty easy to find.
Yeah. My real name. Oh, easy to find.
You have a big following.
I'd like it to be bigger, but COVID put a damper on that. I started it 3 years ago with 3,000 followers, and it snowballed.
Yeah, you're in the hundreds now, I believe, last time I checked.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like 500,000 this year, but it didn't happen.
Well,
got busy with school. I go to school full time too, so that's put a roadblock on a lot of things.
So when somebody from the site finds you on your social media and they see the sexy photos and the modeling that you do, how does that change? Does it change the way they talk to you?
It's changed. Not a little.
A little.
They respect me a little bit more. They'll be like, "Oh, this is why you want so much of an allowance." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm risking my reputation if I'm out with you.
Sure.
I'm risking my image, my brand, everything that I've worked for. So if I'm out with you, oh yeah, allowance, yes, you better give me allowance. I don't really do pay-per-meet."
So you are more interested in like a weekly or monthly allowance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preferably, yeah.
But
It's
in the
so
beginning,
good.
I know
It's so
it's
nice.
the same with Amy, but in the beginning, it's usually just pay-per-meet until they get to know you and figure out if this is going to work or not, right?
I think the guys that are really, my experience, the ones that are really serious about it and they themselves want, they're like, I just want one girl. I don't want to be bouncing around. They're more willing to just immediately be, I mean, they'll be like, okay, let's do this. And then they'll send it to me right then and there. And then like it's
the whole week or the
week. Yeah. And then eventually they'll go to a month.
Yeah. So what kind of allowance gets your attention, or monthly budget or weekly budget? Yeah.
Minimum.
It's a hard subject.
4,000.
4,000
minimum.
what?
4,000 is my minimum, but you're only going to see me like 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay, so 4,000 a month would get your interest started. It's not I mean, that's kind of your floor.
Yeah. I mean, I graduate in May, so I mean,
congratulations.
I go to school full time thank you. I go to school full time during the week. So a realistic normal job is very hard to do. Going to class 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You're like, okay, like I can work nights or I can work weekends. Like, which is it? Or I can get on SA and have a monthly budget and not have to worry as much. But then it's like how Amy said in like one of the most recent episodes, then you're stuck relying on that. And then you're kind of at their mercy. And then I don't like that. I don't like being at somebody's mercy.
Yeah. And it's so degrading. It feels horrible.
Then you start to get a little down on yourself and you're like, okay, can I really do this? And is this really worth it? And
but that's why we're going to school. Yes. That's why we're going to school, because honestly, like girls, like this is honestly, girls, what you guys need to be doing. You guys need to be making something of yourself besides SA, because it's not going to last.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we all age, and I mean, it's not to say that as you get older, but I mean, even those older ladies, like they don't want to be at underneath somebody's nails all the time. You know, you don't want that,
right?
And you don't want to be lying on your backs and spreading your legs for eternity. Like it's
no,
you know.
But that's it. You know, like people ask me all the time. Like I recently deleted my OnlyFans as well, and they're like, I was only doing topless on there, but it doesn't pay unless you're doing like the real hardcore stuff. It doesn't. It really doesn't. These girls hype it up, and they're like, oh, it pays so much, you know. And I do know girls who are making 60,000 to 80,000 a month on there, but they're doing the stuff that I wouldn't want my name attached to or my face attached to in the long run, because the looks fade. And once somebody sees, no offense, one pair of tits, you've seen them kind of all like,
that,
I mean, how long is it going to be paid? You know, like, so I'm like, no, I'm rebranding my image and eventually I'll graduate and make money for myself. But
so you're graduating this May with what kind of a degree?
Yes. Oh gosh, after I changed my major 5 times.
Oh, I hear you. Been there.
Communications with an emphasis in advertising.
And what do you want to do? What's your ultimate goal here?
Ultimate goal, I love design and I love doing like graphic design and creating ads and advertisements. So I'd love to like work for an ad agency and do something like that.
Do you do freelance? Would you ever consider freelance?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So get in touch with you. I've got like a bunch of business stuff going. Anyways,
let me know.
Well, that's the thing. No, that's the thing about networking. And have you been able to network with any of the sugar daddies? Because a lot of women on here do.
Yeah. I actually have an investment meeting after this.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, I met with a guy who does all of like the political. He didn't end up being a sugar daddy for me, but we're friends. He's got a lot of connections in politics and like did all the political campaigning and ads and stuff for Biden actually. and he knows a lot of dirt. It's actually very fun sitting and talking to him.
Really?
So, yeah, he's a character, but he's really good to talk to. So he knows a lot of people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's getting into like the metaverse and coining, NFTs and stuff like that. So that's been really interesting to pick his mind on all that.
Yeah, I find that, and Amy finds that people we meet on the site have a lot of business experience, a lot of connections, a lot of networks that you can tap into.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
you just have to prove yourself first. Like girls, you just can't like go up, because I feel like a lot of girls will get, they'll get confused by this. We need to explain this. I think we need to like tear this open a little bit. You can't like just go up to someone and be like, invest in me. You have to prove yourself. You really have to prove yourself. And I mean, it takes rapport. Like you have to build that rapport. You have to, and you have to essentially prove yourself like over and over again.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be very sketchy. So just girls, like, be aware of that. Like you can't just be like, invest in my company, because I had a guy just tell me that like how a girl just immediately was like, will you invest in this? And he's like, well, you haven't shown me anything. So how can I?
He met a girl on the site, and then she's wanting him to invest in her company.
Yeah, because there's actually a lot of girls.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of girls are wanting to do that. And it's just like, well, what do you have to show? Like, show me something, right?
Yeah.
And
have a business plan at least, or a long-term investment plan of how you're going to reinvest into your company and how you're going to build it and who you're going to market to and who you're, like what it is that you're marketing and why.
Yeah. Because I mean, like these people, they're going to get you in touch with their contacts, and they need to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you, they are not going to want you to be like, oh, hi, I just, I met him on SA. Yeah. We had such a great time. Like, no.
Like, we had a great night together.
Yeah.
Invest,
exactly.
So.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Just, no, don't do it.
Jessica, do you share with your friends that you're on SA?
Yeah, my closer friends, they all know.
Yeah.
They all
Probably
know.
some of them are on there, right?
No, actually they're not. All my friends are like, most of my friends are older in general. So nobody really under 27. So I'm 27. I'm getting old. I'm aging.
So, hey now.
No, but
turn 32.
All my friends
Come
make
on.
figures. They, they've graduated. They've done their thing. And so they know the lifestyle I live and that I have lived for a while. And so they always know, like, they don't try and set me up with guys. They don't try the whole, I have somebody for you, because they know already.
Right.
They know that if I go to dinner with a younger guy, nobody under 38.
Yeah.
But if I go, I'm probably going to tear him apart on accident. I'm going to be like, what's your long-term plan? How much money do you make?
Nice.
What do you plan to do with that money?
Yeah.
Do you rent your own? Like, I'll look at his watch. Like, a watch is a telltale sign. Like, for me, watches, shoes, and belts.
Yes. Yeah. Shoes and watches.
So 3 things: watches, shoes, and belt. And then you look at his car. If he does drive to dinner, and if he gets an Uber, does he get an Uber Black or does he get a regular Uber?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of signs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signs.
And their hair. I would look at their and how they groom themselves.
Their hair. Ooh.
Big one.
Well, mine's easy.
You're bald.
Okay, well, that's not fair. You're cheating on that one.
But at the same time,
Mother Nature cheated me.
You can look at their teeth though. Like that's really big for me as well, because a smile does say a lot. And a man who takes pride in himself and actually can afford to have an amazing smile, will put money into that because he knows that's his moneymaker. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And teeth are not cheap.
No. Good Lord. Yeah. Those dentists do well.
Oh my gosh.
My dentist
are actually a number one thing I look at too. That's an attractive factor. If they have bad teeth, I'm like,
yeah. Oh God, I don't even want to
go for that.
No, don't kiss me.
Well, I'm going to have to thank my mother, because when I was in junior high, she put me in the braces, and this was the old kind when they had bands around each tooth. And, you had this mouthful of metal, and I'm like, why, Mom, why? And she's like, trust me, when you get older, you're going to have a beautiful smile.
And you do.
So
it's really great.
She cared about you.
I didn't understand the process and the pain I went through in junior high.
Pain is beauty.
Yeah.
So
I have to thank her for that.
You got to suffer a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you tell somebody who's thinking about getting into this lifestyle, becoming a sugar baby?
Don't ever tell them where you live. Ever. Even if they want to send you a gift. No.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell them where you live. Don't tell them where you work.
Would you say that's like after a certain amount of time, it's okay?
Yeah, I would say after a certain amount of time, yeah. If once you've built like that trust or like a couple of months, I'd say even after 3 months. I'd say 4 months. 4 months is a rule.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell them where you work at first, ever. Even sometimes later.
Now, why is this? Is
because... Don't get in the car with them. Do not get in the car with them. If they offer to pick you up, say, no, I'll meet you there.
Really? Yeah. That's good advice, actually.
Do not get in the car with them.
Right.
What if they offer?
It may seem like a sweet gesture, but no, don't.
Now, no. I offer to send a car for them a lot of times. What if somebody offers to send you a car? Will you accept it, or you'll just meet them there?
I live in an apartment, so I'll give them the address.
Yeah.
But I mean, what guy's going to go knock on 100 units?
Right.
Right.
So I'll give them the address, yes, but I won't give them the apartment.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Okay.
But it has to be an Uber Black.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. And I've had girls break those rules lots and lots times. Yeah. Fortunately, I'm not the stalker type, but I could have been.
Right. Yeah.
I could.
Well, because a lot of these girls are naive and they're young, and sometimes the girls are desperate for money and they just think, oh, he's being nice, and plus I get paid.
Yeah.
Well,
and desperation makes you do stupid things. Like you just don't think things through because you're scared.
Exactly.
Yeah, you operate under fear. So.
Mm-hmm.
He could be anybody. I mean, he could be Dexter. You don't know. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, you don't know. So don't get in the car with them.
So have you had any men stalk you?
No. Well, not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I have one right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that later. In another
you
episode.
had one?
Well, no, I think I have had one. I had someone show up in my room. And
she had literally somebody walk in her front door and show up in her room.
Yeah. What? And then I think I have one right now.
You've got to quit being so trusting of these people.
I did not give this person my address. I think that they followed me.
Did you give him your real phone number?
No. He is my
Did you drive your car
I did,
him? License plate.
Yeah.
License plate.
And he seemed really nice. But then after dinner, I just was like, okay, I wanted to leave and whatever. And then I was like, okay, this isn't going to be for me. He's a little too high strung.
Mm-hmm.
He was just kind of too high strung. He was from the East, he's East Coast. So New York, he's in the stock market, Wall Street. I don't like Wall Street guys. I'm not saying
I don't either.
I think I don't like their attitudes. I don't like the way that
they all have a common attitude, don't they? It seems like
it is 100%. I mean, they're
Isn't
they're very aggressive, and I don't like aggressive people like that. I'm a very soft, sensual, just very people tell me I'm very sweet, and so I can't. It's not a good balance for me because it's not intimidating. It's just you're a fucking ass. I know that he'll try to have a conversation with me. When he was trying to have a conversation, he was trying to be nice, but it came off so just, it just hit the
arrogant
and just hit the wrong buttons. It's okay, you're just very East Coast. Go back there. You want to know why you may, I don't know. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. So Jessica, what do you do when you're on a first date or first meeting? And tell me, how do you prefer to do that? And then what happens when you don't have the chemistry or the vibe and you just want to get the hell out of there? What do you do? Because that's a common situation.
Strategy?
What is your exit strategy?
Okay.
Because I know you have one.
Recently, it was very bad. So sat at the bar with him. We had sushi. It was a really nice place. Cool. He starts to get drunk on sake. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't care if you get drunk. Get lit. Go for it. I don't care. I'm not, whatever. Have your fun, babe. Then he started getting super touchy-feely, touching my arm, touching my leg, touching my arm, getting in my face, so close to my face that I was like,
this is your first
Now
date?
you're just, this was first date, first meet.
Men. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But it was a weird touching. It was creepy touching. It wasn't oh, let me touch your hand and just, rub, whatever. It was let me touch your hand, let me touch your arm, let me touch your leg. Going back and forth, he was playing Twister with the moves here. I was okay, you're all over the place.
Right.
So eventually he goes to the bathroom and the bartender goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Is it that bad?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's that bad." And I said, "Do you mind telling him that I got really sick?" And so the bartenders kind of help me out sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say that. Other exit strategy I would say is, love this one. I'll text one of my friends and I'll be like 911 and they know immediately. And they'll call me and they'll act like they're crying and I'll turn up the volume on the phone really loud. And I'll kind of like lean into the guy a little bit. So like he thinks I'm being sweet and they'll act like they're crying. They're like, Joe, so-and-so is at my house and he's being horrible to me and I need you to come over. I don't feel safe. Because what guy's going to be a jerk and be like, oh, screw your friend. She's fine.
Right.
No. So they're like, oh, go help your friend. She's in need.
So that's your 911 strategy to a friend when you need to get out of the situation.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Don't use that on me because I've heard it now.
I use my dogs actually.
Your dogs?
Because Mia's older.
Yeah.
And so she can, she's kind of getting to that age where she could start having seizures. And so I'll use like, I have my sister and my brother on, and I'll like, if I tell them, if I send just like, cause what I'll do is I won't make it obvious. I'll just hold my phone down and I'll just have them, their message up. And if it's a bunch of random ass like stuff, call me and tell me that something's going on with Mia. Like she's having a seizure or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say I have 2 dogs and I'll use them sometimes too. I'll be like, oh, I haven't let my dogs out in like 6 hours. They have small bladders. I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recommend being a sugar baby to somebody after all your experiences?
It has to be for the right person.
Yeah. I mean, it's very fun in my opinion, but it's also don't be naive. Trust your gut. I mean, if something feels off, it's probably off.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I can't tell you how strong that statement is, trusting your gut. I can't tell you how many times I ignored that feeling and
how many times
come to find out.
Still do?
Yeah, you've heard some stories.
How many times you still do?
Oh, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
Yeah, so he says.
So
maybe you should start texting Amy and being like, "Is this a red flag?" And just text her.
Right.
And then she'd be like, "Yeah,
ding, 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 red flag."
No, I called him the other day and he was on a date, and I was just like, he sat there and talked to me. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. It was hilarious. I was just like, because I'll start gabbing with him.
I know. I'm like, all right, I'm on a date. What do you need? Blah 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 blah. Like 10 minutes later, I'm like, did you hear the part I'm on a date? What did you do? Like, just real quick.
Yeah. Give me a
no, I mean, it's a fun lifestyle. You just have to be careful. I love the lifestyle, but don't sell yourself short either.
Right.
Like if a guy's like, I'm sorry, I laugh very hard if a guy immediately messages and he's like $500 to meet. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
What would be your initial PPM just to meet and kind of get going before the weekly starts?
Just to meet and kind of get going?
Yeah.
Like, are we hooking up after?
Like if a guy asks you to coffee, okay, because I get that a lot because I tell people, I'm like, listen, I'm not a night person. Like you will not get me out past like 9 o'clock. I swear you won't. I just don't like that.
I can verify that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like, so the guys I'm seeing right now, like they're like, you are being dead serious. Like you really don't.
Yeah.
I said, absolutely not. My phone shuts off at 6. Like if you want me, you gotta it's a day thing,
So Amy, what do you?
For coffee?
Yeah.
For coffee. Just coffee.
You don't ask for anything. Sometimes they just offer it.
Yeah. So, and like, that's my biggest thing is I am to the point now, like I live very modest and I'm just trying to get through school. Like, I don't want to,
I feel you.
I believe that like, honestly, like the people that I have right now, the 2 guys I have right now are really amazing. Mm-hmm. And the one, I mean, we've been talking for 6 months and we just met, like, cause he was like, I just have to meet you. Please let me finally meet you. Like we've been talking for 6 months.
Wow. I don't know about this one.
No, you don't. No. And then you don't know about the other one either. So, I mean, this all just happened. So, I mean, it's all very new.
I love it.
Why are you shaking your head? Don't get mad.
We got to do an episode soon.
I know.
Back to Jessica.
Okay.
Do you do just like a meet and greet without any compensation, or do you ask for something?
Yeah, if it's coffee and it's just like a quick, like, let's see if like we even have chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to ask for anything up front. But that's also going to be a telltale sign for me if you're going to be worth my time.
Yeah.
Even if it's something small, like $100, whatever, like if you just do that on your own, then I'm like, okay, yeah, like
here's some gas money. I appreciate you coming. And,
exactly. It's just really nice. It's really nice because it's like, okay, he's really actually thoughtful and he's gonna he's going to listen and he's going to take the time to talk to you and actually see what you need.
And then that's going to motivate you to want to see him more and talk to him more and be there. Yeah.
Because otherwise,
the guys who in their profiles have, I'm not going to give you anything on the first meet. I'm like, well, that's time and effort and makeup and hair and me either driving there or Ubering there. And that adds up.
We need to do an all girl episode and really talk about how, because I really don't, even though multiple girls have mentioned, about the hair and makeup, men still do not get, like, they're still not understanding how much it actually costs and how much, like, a bottle of mascara is $50. Like, it is just for mascara.
The lip gloss I use is $58. I mean,
yeah, it adds up.
Super fast.
It adds up.
And then we also have our rent. We have our school bills. Like, we have, gas. We have food.
And no offense. You guys are going to laugh probably, but men haven't thought about it. Girls also have to pay for tampons monthly. And that adds up too. You guys don't
super
have those
expensive.
Yes, all the girl expenses.
You guys don't have those expenses.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they have condoms, but
some of us less than others. But yeah, I took Amy to get her nails done, and
he was blown away.
I got a quick primer on how much that stuff cost.
Yeah. And I get
like, how did you feel about it? Were you like, basic. What?
Well, no, I enjoyed paying for it and stuff, but I did.
Well, he got some of his done too.
What did I get?
You got a pedicure.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you got a pedicure.
That's right. I remember. It was a while back, but
good feet are important.
Good feet are important. So I have a question from a listener, and I'm going to ask you too, because she asks, I hear on the show that it seems like most have 2 to 3 sugar daddies. How do they manage their schedule with seeing everyone? What if more than one wants to go out on Friday, same night, or on trips on the same weekend?
So Jessica, why don't you go first?
Okay. I am smiling so hard at this. You make something up. Oh, I have a deadline at work, or, I have to work that weekend. And if they say, I'll cover what you would make that weekend, make up a number, sister.
Make it super high.
If the other guy isn't willing to cover it, you go with the guy who's willing to cover it.
Oh, you're pinning
That's
them
how you choose.
two against each other.
Yeah. And then if they're both willing to cover it and they're both trying to get you out of work, that's when you say, I actually also agreed to watch my friend's dog. Or I agreed to babysit my niece or nephew, or
make a fake.
I have COVID.
Make a fake. Oh my gosh!
Make anything up. You learn how to juggle them, and you don't always have to tell each of them about each other. They don't always have to know.
Right. But some of them don't want to know, but
some of them they don't even want to know.
So Amy, what do you say?
I find guys who I find married men. So I don't really have that problem. And I don't meet during nights. So I mean, honestly, and then, if I do, I like my guys, I'm very selective and I'm very picky about who I'm with. And I cannot lie. I am actually a very
horrible liar.
I am literally like the worst liar ever. I
can't do it.
I can't do it.
Same.
And so for me, it's like I'll usually be pretty upfront. So if I say, well, I just can't do that, they're like, they know, like I'll be like, we're not exclusive. Like I always, even if they're like, well, let's date. And I'm like, well, I'm non-monogamous. Like I will never put myself in that situation. I don't want to be in that situation. And they're usually like, they catch on pretty quick. But that's what I do. I just say I'm non-monogamous. Like from the very beginning, I don't change it. Even if I absolutely think they're adorable. Like one of my guys right now, I think one of them is like, he's really, really adorable.
You're batting your eyes.
Yeah, he's super awesome. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about it. I can't tell you who it is. He has to,
All right, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Jessica, married men, yay or nay?
They usually don't pay as well.
Really?
They usually don't pay as well.
Yeah.
They're less needy, but again, they don't pay as well.
Amy likes them because they are less
I would
needy.
say the other thing to the listener, put notes. You can put a note in your phone and write down, I told this to so-and-so. And then that way, if you're like, if he starts asking about it, pull out your notes while you're on the phone with him and be like, oh yeah, this is what I did, or this is where I went, or this is Like because it is very hard. I am not a very good liar. So my stories I'll start to tell the truth. And then the guy will be like, didn't you say like you were with Amanda, like doing this? I'd be like, oh, that's right. Actually, I got my weeks confused. And then you're kind of screwed.
Right.
So keep notes.
Amy came up with one. She accidentally mentioned that she was on a podcast to her sugar daddy, and then he wanted to know more.
I heard about that.
So then she calls me and wants to do a whole new podcast, and she wants me to make up a new podcast name, and I'm like, I am not covering your lie.
I wasn't comfortable. I was like, dude, I want my sugar. I want it to be very separate from the podcast, because I don't want them to feel like I am like jeopardizing them at all.
Just call it women who whine, and then have a wine bottle on it. There you go. Play on words, and it's cute. There you go. Women who whine.
Yeah. So, but they, so I mean, like, they both know that I'm on a podcast, but I just tell them, I'm like, listen, I am going to be quite honest with you. I don't even want you, like, I don't want you to know the name, because I want to but I need you to like know for sure that I don't talk about you.
Right.
And I want to keep it very separate.
I'll talk to you after we're over.
Yeah, exactly. I'll talk about it after we're over, but during, I don't want anything to do. I want it to be very separate, because I want this to be special for us, not for the entire world. Like, you're not content.
Yeah. But then some of them actually, maybe not your sugar days, but others are like, I want to be on there. They've contacted me, say, I have some great stories. I want to be on your show.
Yeah, that's great. But
I still love the lingerie girl. I want to know what this girl looks like, because I mean, she is
the submissive one. Oh, the scammer,
the one who always scams people.
Oh,
yes, I'm like, what is this girl's deal?
I want to catch her so bad. We have to catch her. Like, we need to. It'd be so fun.
You guys need to catfish her and have a sting operation.
Jessica,
Yes.
I hate to
video
tell
it.
you this, but she has a lot of your features.
Oh,
Really?
you've seen her.
I have her
Thank
picture.
you.
Yeah, she's blonde, long hair. She's pretty
she's
attractive.
super, super attractive. I want to see.
Well, in person, she's not as attractive, but
but I mean, she's got
but
a
her
body,
photos,
and she's got a body.
I mean, it's okay. Like, it's enough to keep your interest. I guarantee. Yeah,
for sure.
So,
yeah,
anyway.
I mean, she's got plenty of people.
It worked for you. I mean,
Hush. So, as we're winding down, any final thoughts you want to leave with our listeners? We're actually getting quite a few, but the feedback is going crazy, so they are going to listen to what you have to say. So I'm putting you on the spot.
I love it. I would say, again, don't sell yourself short. If you have a number in mind and somebody is like, that's not really, don't go meet them. Because I guarantee you're going to be upset at yourself. Always trust your gut. And don't be afraid to ask for what you want. And if they're a little, I'm not going to say weird, if they have little kinks and quirks that you don't really agree with, don't meet with them, because it's not going to work. Don't even pretend like you can. Yeah. I had one guy who asked if he could turn me into his blonde bimbo Barbie. And I'm like, well, I'm already blonde. I'm not a bimbo.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know who it is?
She just jumped out of her seat.
Oh my gosh.
He's obsessed with it. He's obsessed.
Wait. I can't, because actually, so if it is
why are you stuttering so bad?
Because if it is the same person, I mean, she's in California. He lives here.
No, she's in Texas.
I'm sorry. So he lives here, but he
splits his time between there and California.
Okay.
Right?
So I don't think it's the same guy.
Probably sounds like the same guy, though.
No, he doesn't say
he wants to pay for your surgery. Like, he wants to and not just any
does
surgery.
He call you?
We're talking like basketballs.
Yeah, I've heard this story. So I've heard this.
Does he say like he wants to make his own Barbie? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
I typed in bimbo on my text, and it came up, like his name came up in the text and everything.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have. I don't think he has bimbo, but I mean, it could be the same guy. Is he super tall?
Yes.
Like 7 foot.
Kind of attractive. So you're like, what are you doing on the site?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So actually,
problem is, I called him out and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
So he was wearing the same shirt in his profile that he wore out with his friend. And I said, isn't that the same shirt?
Yeah. So he's real.
Have you met him?
He's actually my friend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Like, he's actually my friend. He's really, really nice. He was shot in the head. He was in the military, like a captain.
What?
Shot in the head.
He left all that out.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things about him, but he's actually a really, really nice person. I think he's just messed up because of PTSD. Like, he has PTSD, but he's actually really, really nice. and that he knows exactly what he wants. Like he wants that, right? Like, and
yeah,
that's what he wants. Just
me with
like
him.
Yeah.
Sorry. What didn't make sense to me with him was that he said he didn't want to be ostentatious in his lifestyle and didn't want people to stare or look at him. And it was hypocritical. I was like, well, you want a blonde bimbo, like a girl who everybody's going to stare at, everybody's going to notice, everybody's going to.
You have to understand how tall he is and how many people stare at him. And he wants a girl that's attractive enough. He wants a girl that's so attractive that it takes the attention off of him. Just when he's standing, I think he's probably like 7'6".
No,
like 7'5",
really?
7'4".
No way.
I'm dead serious. Like
I'll check out.
No, okay. So here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. When I say this, when I stand up next to him, my head touches his hip. That is how tall he is.
Well, then he would hate me. I'm 5'2".
No,
I'm petite.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I mean, everyone's shorter than he is. But he is actually like, anyways, it's very funny, but you just have to kind of get to know him. He's one of those guys where you have to get to know, and you have to meet him like face to face and be like, you're actually I think you're a person that's been really hurt and you've been looked at and like gawked at your entire life. But I think he's really nice.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk after.
Anyways,
and typical.
So amazing that we know the same person.
I know. I'm like, I want to talk more now.
I know.
Like, who else?
I know. This always happens at the end of the show.
I know. It always gets really good at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Jessica for joining us today and
you.
Sharing your information or your advice and your stories and your adventures. We didn't even get a touch on probably just a little bit of it.
I feel like we didn't even put a dent in it.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk tomorrow. We can talk later tonight.
Yeah, I'd love to revisit. But thank you for listening to our show. I appreciate you listening to all the episodes. And it sounds like you've enjoyed them as much as we've enjoyed making them. And we're going to continue making them. Find us on Instagram. We'd love your follow. We're trying to build that like Jessica has built hers. I wish I had that many followers, but one day we'll get there.
No, it's going to happen. You just wait. It's going to happen. Jessica, you should put us on there.
Phases. It's like growing pains. You'll go through phases. You're like, really?
Yeah.
We only went up 5 followers today, and then pretty soon it'll snowball, and you'll be like, oh, I can't even keep up with all the comments.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Be a nice problem one day.
For sure. It's going to happen.
Pretty soon you'll have meme accounts making memes about your show.
Yeah, right.
There we go. Yes.
Hey, and if you want to be a guest like Jessica was today, we did this through Zoom. We can do it through phone call or in person in our studio. We'd love to have you. Go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, and give us your information. You can use a fake number. I don't care. I'll contact you there. Until next episode. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.